Let's get into the fights, baby. International Fight Week delivered. Listen, I know it's fun to hate on the UFC, right? Because of the big dick in town, and you know the kind of the monopoly on the business, and you know, including myself, we give them a lot of shit. But dude, you gotta give it up. You gotta give it up. I watched from the very first prelim to the freaking main event at damn near midnight here in Texas. Every single fight, this card delivered in every facet. To me, I know maybe a prisoner of a moment. I'm not going to say the best of all time. Definitely in the past 6 years, this might have been the best card. It was so damn good. It was insane. Now, I was kind of hating on it earlier on. I'm like, dude, go back to 2010, look at International Fight Week. It's just not the same. UFC knocked this out of the goddamn park. In every facet, the matchups were fantastic. Usually when I see two flyweight cards on the main card, I'm like, God damn it. We're getting two decisions, dude. The flyweight division's typically terrible. You know, you're like, oh, here we go again. Give me two decisions. And you got to remember, I'm here in freaking Texas, so decisions are not good. Your boy gets tired, especially during the main event. But my Lord, did this card delivered. Yeah, fuck, it was good, dude. It had everything you want. Everything you want across the board. Jacoby Smith looked good, you know, young prospect at Oklahoma State. Savage. Has a little ways to go, but Nico Price, definitely a great step up in competition. A vet who he can't just smoke, you know, so he learned a lot about himself, but he's going to be a real threat in the welterweight division. Terrence McKinney, one of my favorites. One of my absolute favorites. God dog, his transition from the Anaconda to guillotine was filthy. Tracy Cortez for president. Always a fan when she fights for a variety of reasons. Delgado with a knee and elbow knockout. That was filthy. RoboCop. RoboCop killed a guy. I thought he killed Jack Hermanson. And then we get to the main card. I didn't like this fight for Payton Talbot. But I told you guys when he lost his last fight wasn't too long ago to a real savvy vet, and he just got out grappled. You know, for these prospects, and I always say this, and maybe it's from my own experience, but it's a marathon, not a race. So when you have these young prospects, when they get challenged, we'll find out if you can invest in their stock coming off a loss. And especially he's young in his career in the bantamweight division. So he fought a very savvy vet, didn't get starched, didn't get, you know, flatlined. You could just tell there's some holes in his game. He's young, but you know, the power's there. You know, he's going to be a real threat if he kind of works on his takedown defense and just gets better. And then they give him Felipe Lima, and I'm like, what the hell are they doing? They don't care about this kid. This is a terrible fight for him. He's an underdog for a reason. And Felipe tried to take advantage of that grappling. And my God, Payton Talbot has been doing work. God bless him. He's the real deal, man. He's the real deal. I always said this, like, you know, translate to boxing. Like when Anthony Joshua, before he fought Klitschko, we've never seen him really down in a fight. Never saw him really take any punches. So I was always a fan of him. I'm like, I just can't get all the way on. I like him, but I want to see how he reacts to when he gets knocked down. Then you see him fight Klitschko and he gets knocked down. And he got back up, answered the call, one of the greatest heavyweight fights of all time. You're like, okay, now I believe in that guy. I love when fighters face a little adversity and then come back, especially when they're this young. And Payton Talbot, he's that dude. He got back to the grind, back in the weight room, back in the gym, and worked on his takedown defense. And God damn, did he look good. God, did he look good, man. Dariush Makano, that's one of those fights, two fan favorites, but doesn't mean much for the division. Neither one of them are ever going to fight for a title again. You know, Dariush got close, and then he took, 2-3 years off. Makano got the title shot by, you know, force of injury with Sarukian, which we'll get to. My God, the UFC's mad at him. So Makano, he had his run, you know, and then Dariush, you know, I think the thing with Dariush too, though, he looks older than he is. What, he's 33? But the grays, if he dyed his hair, nobody's saying shit. If he used rewind, preferably dark brown, that's the one I own, he would look so much younger, but he just doesn't give a fuck. You can tell he hates the camera, hates fame. Even when his team want to take pictures inside the octagon, he's like, oh, God damn it. He just hates it. It's all glory to God. You know, he's way closer to heaven than any of us. Him and Tim Tebow are right there. And then I'm probably their +1. We'll see how it goes. And then by far, God, dude, this fight, I can't say enough good things about it. Joshua Van Joshua down by the river van, dude. Brandon Royval. Brandon's a Denver kid, so I always fucking root for him. Raw Dog is one of my favorite flyweights ever. I absolutely love Brandon Royval. He's so game. And Joshua Van to take this on, 3-week notice. That motherfucking fight. If you have to show, somebody who's never seen MMA, especially UFC, and make him a fan, you show him that fight, or you show him Kelvin Gastelum and Izzy. Or you could show him Roy McDonald and Robbie Lawler. But Joshua Van, Brandon Royval, I'm talking, the Darius fight decision. You're like, all right, Payton Talbot, if you're balls deep in MMA, like, man, the improvements. For me, it was exciting. Darius, I like the grappling exchanges, but, all right. So 2 decisions. You're like, here we go, International Fight Week. Thanks, UFC. And then Joshua Van and Brandon Royval come out. And it is a straight slobber knocker. It was so goddamn good. God damn, that fight was good, dude. It was just, and my favorite part about it is the adjustments both guys made at such a high level for 3 rounds, the back and forth. No one even thought of doing a takedown, which I would have liked Brandon Royval, especially to win the fight. If he wanted to fight for a title, he could have shot, but he didn't. And his reach was an issue, and his jab. And then Joshua Van's fucking hands are insane. The speed, trading 1 for every 1 he landed, he would eat 2 from Royval. And then when he knocked Royval down in the third, I'm like, that does it. That did it. Because I actually had it 1-1 going into the third. And then the knockdown in the third is, I'm like, is the most, kind of biggest moment in the fight. And it's a close fight. You're going to give it to Joshua Van. He won that fight. And then for the UFC, dude, this is what I love about this card. This is what I love about the card. And then for the UFC, because obviously it's a flyweight showcase with Pantoja and Kai Kara France, then Joshua Van, Brandon Royval. And then for the UFC to have Joshua cage side and then him go into the octagon, it's like, that's it, dude. And do you know anybody who doesn't like Joshua Van right now? 23 years old, been fighting for fucking 5 years. 5 years? And the most talented people in the world in mixed martial arts are the smaller fighters at flyweight. You know how fucking good you have to be to fight for a title in the UFC, and you've only been training for 5 goddamn years? Are you kidding me? The kid just has it. He just has it, man. He just has it. I love watching him fight. I'm usually not the biggest flyweight fan, because they're too small to hurt each other. It's like watching my 5-year-old fight. It's like, all right, buddy, let him wrestle. Nobody's gonna get hurt. Similar with this, But then there's these guys that come along. God, he looked good, dude. He just, I'm an instant fan. I can't wait to see that fight. And the UFC takes, maybe it's the TKO influence with the WWE, but they're just set it up so the fans know. There's Joshua Van, there's Pantoja. Boom. Take my fucking money. You could just have that as the main event, and I'll watch it now. I'll watch it now. And now, I don't know, because, again, styles make fights. Joshua Van, Brandon Royval, booked at every fucking pay-per-view. I'd watch it every single weekend. I absolutely loved it. But watching Joshua Van, Brandon Royval, it was just stylistically so goddamn good that I don't want to sound like a hater on Pantoja and Kai Kara France, and maybe because that's how good Pantoja is, but I thought Joshua Van, Brandon Royval looked better than Pantoja and Kai Kara France. And maybe because Pantoja I thought that first round he could have gave it a 10-8 when he had his back and the back control, and literally just Kai Kara France, that's all he worked on, then just gets fucking steamrolled within the first fucking minute. You're like, Jesus Christ, you had a 12-week camp and this is what happens right away. But I thought after, especially after this, like midway through the second, Pantoja started to slow down, and he was still dominating. Kai Kara France really didn't ever look that good in any of the rounds, and Pantoja was obviously dominating that, gave it a 10-8 that first round, but he did slow down. And when I watched that, and it looked a little sloppy, like Kai Kara France, there's sometimes he's like punching at his knees. And again, maybe it's just because Pantoja was dominating so much for that first round. But just looking at those two fights, not his whole body of work throughout his career, Pantoja's one of the greatest to ever do it. But I was like, man, Joshua Van can do this. Now, we really haven't seen Joshua Van be pushed as far as the grappling goes, and Pantoja's going to do that. But it comes to the striking, good fucking luck, Pantoja. Good luck, dude. Good luck. And I pray to God. I like Pantoja, don't get me wrong. I pray to God Joshua Van wins that fight. Joshua down by the river Van is my favorite fighter right now. I fucking love him. He's so goddamn good.